O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Usually when we think about the fabric of reality, we picture something rigid, like concrete. You push against it, pushes back, and you just have to, navigate the maze that's already built.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way when you're stuck in a rut. I mean, you don't just ask a concrete wall to move out of your way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's unpack this. Because looking at the stack of sources you sent over for today's deep dive, ranging from obscure esoteric manuals to actual peer-reviewed neuroscience papers, we are dealing with a text that treats reality not as concrete, but, well, as wet clay.
Which is a pretty wild shift in perspective.
It really is. And our mission today is to figure out how a highly specific manifestation practice called the Three Cortigians rite blends ancient mythology and Gothic storytelling into what looks like a literal masterclass in applied neuroplasticity.
Yeah, the underlying mechanism here is fascinating. To start reshaping that reality, Clay, this ritual instructs you to divide your intention among three specific archetypes, or, courtesans, as they call them. First, you have the wise virgin, draped in white, representing absolute clarity.
Okay, clarity, got it.
Right. Then, the passionate lover in red, symbolizing magnetic attraction. And finally, the powerful queen in black, who basically handles the tangible, heavy-duty materialization.
I get the symbolism, but I have to ask, why use a courtesan archetype at all? Like, if I want to change my life, why not just make a really solid to-do list? How does visualizing a woman in a red dress actually rewire my brain?
Well, a standard to-do list engages your prefrontal cortex. That's your rational, logical brain. Yeah. And your rational brain is full of doubt. It knows all the reasons your goal might fail.
Oh, sure. It's always playing devil's advocate.
Exactly. So by using vivid, emotionally charged archetypes, you bypass the rational brain entirely and speak directly to your limbic system. These figures act as cognitive shorthand. Historically, this draws on real Hellenistic courtesans like Euphro, Clio, and Attis.
Yeah, real people.
Yeah, real women who perform transactional magic, dedicating the physical tools of their trade to Aphrodite for prosperity. And the powerful queen mirrors the gray from Greek myth, the terrifying sisters sharing a single eye of primal, piercing wisdom.
Oh, wow. So it's essentially a psychological engine. Like the Virgin gives you the blueprint so you aren't just flailing around. But visualizing the lover is what actually triggers biological arousal and dopamine. Yeah. That's the fuel.
Yes, exactly.
And then the queen, with that single-minded focus of the gray, is the heavy machinery actually making it happen in reality.
That is a perfect way to look at it. You are manipulating your own neurochemistry through story.
Right, but the actual physical setup is where things get really strange for me. The text details a specific altar. It's a triangle of colored candles surrounding a black mirror draped in red silk.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric.
Very. And there's this specific instruction to mentally warp your spatial awareness of the room. Kind of like the flattened, distorted perspectives in a Hiroshi woodblock print. Are we just trying to set a spooky mood? Or is there a functional reason to, sit in the dark and pretend the room is flat?
Oh, it is entirely functional. When you sit in your normal living room, your brain operates on autopilot, using what we call the default mode network.
Right, because it already knows the room.
Exactly. By drastically altering your sensory environment, staring into a black void, distorting your depth perception, you induce sensory disruption. You shock the brain out of autopilot.
Which opens a window.
Yes, that confusion forces a window of neuroplasticity to open, making your neural pathways highly receptive to new instructions.
Okay, that makes sense of the setup. But I'm still stuck on the wish-loading phase. You're staring into this void, holding a chalice, and drinking from it to seal the intention. It sounds incredibly dark. Looking at the sources, there's a heavy Gothic shadow hanging over this.
There is, and honestly, the text doesn't hide it at all. The mechanics here explicitly mirror Gothic vampiric lore. It draws direct parallels to stories of three seductive vampire courtesans.
Wait, actual vampires?
Yeah, operating out of a tavern called La Rana Verde. They drain an unsuspecting victim's life force into Count Orsi's chalice.
Whoa. Okay, so we're talking about literal life-draining energy here. How on earth is that a tool for self-improvement?
Well, the modern rite uses wine instead of blood, obviously, but it's fundamentally about synaptic pruning. In neuroplasticity, to build a new habit or reality, you have to starve the old neural pathway.
So you're drinking the old habit.
Sort of. You are symbolically and almost violently consuming your old self, your old limitations, to forcefully overwrite your reality. Creation, in this context, requires destruction.
Okay, but if you're tapping into that kind of destructive, forceful energy to rewrite your brain, what stops someone from just completely blowing up their own life?
That's the best part. The ritual includes a fascinating psychological safety valve.
Yeah.
It insists your intentions must align with the highest good.
The highest good. What does that mean in practice?
If you try to force an ego-driven wish that fundamentally conflicts with your deep, unconscious moral architecture, it creates cognitive dissonance. Your subconscious will literally generate friction and sabotage the manifestation.
I see. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Magic and vampires aside, the core lesson is incredibly practical. If you align your conscious ambitions with your unconscious moral framework, you remove that cognitive friction. You create a clear path to achieving your goals.
Exactly. Bringing it all together, the text describes turning your living room into an empire of signs, a localized space where physical objects and symbols bypass standard reality and trigger real biological shifts in your mind.
Which leaves us with a pretty wild thought to chew on. If lighting a few candles and staring into a mirror can intentionally shock your brain into reprogramming reality, what mundane everyday routines are you performing that act as accidental, unnoticed rituals?
That's a great question.
Right. Like, are your morning habits subconsciously manifesting a reality you haven't actually chosen? Next time you push against that concrete wall of your life, maybe ask yourself if you were the one who accidentally poured it.